So let me ask you, do you think it's possible to visualize, not simply to make something appear, but to make something disappear? Ooh, what a question, right? Well, the answer is yes, but it can be very, very tricky because visualization is really, really aligned to what we truly are focusing on. And the challenge with that is that often many of us believe we're focusing on one thing when we're actually focusing on exactly the opposite. So what does that look like in this case? So let's say you're trying to make something disappear. You've got a physical condition that you want to make disappear. And so your first instinct is to say, okay, let me visualize how I would feel if this thing had never existed, if it was completely absent, if it had never been a part of my life. How would I feel, right? Let's suppose it's not a physical condition, but it's a confidence issue. It's perceived damage that you feel from maybe something you've lived through in your life. So again, what your approach is, and what most people would approach this with, is saying, let's pretend that it never exists. How would, kind of fake it till you make it, right? And that tends to really lead us down a slippery slope, because the ulterior motive, that kind of the unspoken story here is, oh my gosh, this thing is so freaking powerful and I've tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing has worked. Let me try visualization. And so I'm going to force myself not to look at this powerful thing that won't go away. And I'm going to pull my rabbit out of the hat and try and focus on pretending that you don't even exist, right? Yes, there's definitely some discord there. So how can you make this work? There are a couple of approaches here. And so the first one really is just almost imagining that you had been picked up and moved 5 years in the future, and you had seen this version of yourself that is not only feeling exactly the way that you would love to feel, but thanks to everything that you experienced, thanks to that yucky, powerful thing, you have your expectations have been exceeded. You're living even more of what you would like to live. Maybe you're touching some other lives. Maybe you're inspiring some other people. Maybe you're helping people in a way that you've always wanted to impact others, right? You've been picked up and lifted and you're like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. So it's kind of coming from that space back to where you are right now and envisioning that. So it can be journaling, or it can be really meditating, imagining yourself. What would it feel like? And it might feel something like this. It might feel like saying, oh my gosh, a year from now, I intend to be waking up in such awe. I am going to be at a moment in my life where I feel energized and filled with joy in a way that I have never experienced before. My first feeling when I open my eyes is the sun coming through my window, kissing my face just brilliantly, and I feel like my world is on fire in the most delicious way. A year from now, I am going to be bounding out of my bed, filled with enthusiasm, filled with that joie de vivre, to go ahead and carpe diem, seize the day. I am going to be looking at myself in the mirror and saying, oh my gosh, look how far you have come. I had no idea. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to be eating in ways that I've always yearned to be eating. I'm going to be surrounded with people that I adore who love and support me, I'm going to be feeling a level of confidence, a level of clarity, a level of being proud of myself, right? And seeing all the things in just a year that I will have achieved. I'm going to look back at some of those things that were challenges, and I'm going to realize that it is thanks to these challenges that I've gotten this level of tenacity. I've gotten this level of dedication. I've gotten this level of consistent commitment to getting what I want, to learning, to growing, to being willing to ask new questions, and quite honestly, to being willing to sometimes push through things that I previously feared, right? So are you starting to get the momentum here, right? It's as if that thing that you want to make disappear not only has become something that you're not terrorized by anymore, but it's become an integral contributor to why things are so epic going forward. So it really is shifting that focus, and from categorizing that thing as that thing is so bad. In fact, I want to just recognize its badness in such a way that I never ever find myself facing that in my life again. None of that, right? Instead, it's saying, that's okay. You can be part of my story. You can be a chapter. In fact, it can be a lot of chapters in my story. And yet, the visualization is that thanks to you, the conclusion or the next chapters of my story, oh my gosh, they're going to be freaking epic. Booyah. And here's why, right? I need that tenacity. I need that grit. I need the resilience. I need something that is the catalyst that triggers me to go and find that epic version of myself that without freaking you, I never would have been inspired to tune into. So if you are visualizing, yes, get the focus away from this big, horrible thing, right? It's not about trying to think more positively so that you can overcome and tip the scales away from thinking negatively. It's about realizing that there is a possibility, because it's happened in many, many, many other people's lives, that this very thing that feels like it's the culprit of so much sorrow and pain and angst and aggravation is the clue, that one thing that is going to catapult you to this place where you have always wanted to be. So pick yourself up in your imagination as you create your story and imagine what if a year from now it's a done deal, right? Everything is quote unquote perfect, whatever perfect might come to mean at that part in my story, right? So go out there, have some fun with it, play with it, realize that it's a huge iteration process. But the hint is, as you're envisioning, as you're visualizing, how do you feel? Because your feelings are the guardrails, they're the lights on the runway. It's your guidance system, as Esther Hicks would say. So go out there, have some fun with it, keep visualizing, keep imagining. If everything that could work out well would work out even better, what might that look like, right? What might that look like? And that's a good place to continue writing your story. I'm Meridith Alexander. I hope this has been of value. If you like these little nuggets, please be sure to hit the little button and subscribe. And I will see you next time as we journey on our way to unleashing the most epic version of you. All right, see you soon. Bye.